It is Imaginoni, and since this is a lighter week, I figured, what the heck, let's just do them all for review. Some of them are just going to be kind of short. Others will go into a little bit more in depth. Let's start off with The Goddamned. All I gotta say is this book is really violent. There's lots of, unfortunately, some people, there's male nudity. I have to be kind of careful at what I show. But it's basically before the flood, biblical type book without the severe biblical overtones, like being religious, because it's mostly just violent. Great read so far, though. Moon Knight #3. This book is kind of really confusing me and whether or not I want to keep buying it. The basic premise is he's in a loony bin, but yet there's some moments he sees the world as it is. Like for an example, one minute it's normal, the next minute there's all these Egyptian gods and mummies, and his world is turned upside down. And so you don't really know, is he really insane or is he basically actually onto something? Overall, the story is interesting, but I kind of wish, we're on issue, 3, so I'm hoping that they figure out, what's the situation for real, and then we can go on to the main part, the back to the crime fighting, kick busting kind of way. But at the same time, I have to admit it is appealing in that it's different, and anytime it's something is a little bit different, it's always going to catch my eye a little bit more. But I don't know, it's interesting. Art's pretty good too. Civil War 2 #1. All right. This book has 2 potential deaths. Basically, you can see them if you saw the Free Comic Book Day book for Civil War, you know who they are. Now, this lays the foundation in that, okay, you have the Inhumans. They have the person who can see the future. Everybody seems okay with it when it's this gigantic, celestial who's going to destroy everything. But then it's when they find out that it's an Inhuman that's doing it. Oh, time out. We got to stop this because these are ethical reasons and blah blah blah. But the one thing that I found, another thing I should probably throw in there is they can't read his mind. And because they can't read his mind, they don't know what his true intentions are. So that's the other reason why they're kicking that off as to, one, it's Inhuman, can't read his mind, we don't know if this is ethical. But anyways, in between the pages here towards the end, Thanos appears at Project Pegasus, Captain Marvel and the Ultimates with War Machine appear with some Inhumans, and they take him out. And like I said, 2 B-level characters get killed. One is killed, and the other one is maybe could pull themselves out of it. But what I kind of found kind of weak about this whole thing is, okay, you have somebody who can predict the future as to a major disaster. Now, under normal circumstances, if Thanos were to appear on Earth, like if the Inhumans called Iron Man, Tony would have been on the phone calling every single Avenger, and they would have descended on Project Pegasus to take him out. But because somebody who's close to Tony gets killed, now this is a problem. Why did you do this? There's too much power in one person's hand. This shouldn't happen. There's ethical parts to it. How do we know? How can we trust this Inhuman who we can't read their mind? And I'm just thinking to myself, you're just such a hypocritical asshole because your friend got killed, you're really blinded by what happened. The fact that Thanos appeared and he could have done major damage, but that's not an issue. And also, like, a War Machine goes up to Tony, he's like, hey, when can I get an upgrade type thing? And Tony just blows him off. And in Tony's special way. So I found, if anything, you're to blame for not really giving him even better gear. But I still liked it. It was a great read. Art is fantastic. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. And I'm definitely on board for this. New Avengers, it's it's one of these types of books where I kind of go, okay, I like the team dynamic in that it's a little bit different. Um, it's basically I look at it as a vacation away from the real Avengers, but the th- the thing that really pisses me off is like the Falcons' attitude, even Tony's to a certain degree, Vision's a little bit. Well, I guess Vision's getting a little better since he's no longer mind controlled, but mostly Falcons, and it's just kind of like I just want to go, you're a little punk. It's like cut these kids some slack. But I don't know, and I think that just always puts me down the wrong path when I'm reading this book. The ending does have a surprise villain to it, in case you haven't been reading previews, and it's a decent read. They're basically looking for Nova's father, and the one thing I did like about it is like Nova's like, look, I gotta go, I gotta find my father, and Tony's like, wait a second, before you go, we're all gonna go. So I really liked how it was the spirit of teamwork, family. So I like that element of the story. I also like how Nova and Miss Marvel and Miles, Spider-Man, is getting a little bit more of a push. So this way, hopefully more people will, be familiar with these characters and eventually buy those books. Because, those 3 books are pretty decent overall. Okay, Amazing Spider-Man number 13. If you read the Renew Your Vows book from Secret Wars, this is that storyline. Region is going around. Originally, he was taking out villains and stealing their powers and abilities, and now he's finally decided to do the next best thing and steal superheroes' powers. And he uses the battle between Spider-Man and Iron Man to take away Miles. So overall, I mean, it's a decent read. Part of me is kind of torn with this because, I already read this. I mean, granted, I read after the fact, after everybody got all their powers got taken away, and this is at the very beginning of it. So it's kind of like, okay, now I get to kind of see how things would play out in this universe. But we all know Region's going to get beat. Everybody's going to get back to normal again. So there's no sense of, oh my goodness, the dread for the future type thing. Art's pretty good. I do enjoy the poking between Peter and Tony. That's always fun. And poor Miles is just stuck in the middle. But overall, it's decent. Not the best, but it's decent. Spider-Woman was fantastic. I love the battle between her and Tiger Shark. We learn apparently Tiger Shark is a very, very expensive hotel. I mean, not hotel, but apartment in a exclusive high-rise. His apartment has a gigantic fish tank with a giant tentacle octopus, which does get involved in the fight. Overall, I mean, I really do like Spider-Woman. It's a great read. It's fun. And that's the best part about it is it's just fun. It's like a superhero's got to balance kids and crime fighting, and she's doing it fairly well. And then she has a reformed supervillain babysitting. So how can you beat that combination? It's great. Rebirth Batman. All right. This one. Okay, it's a decent read overall. I mean, the art is good. The writing is good. But here's the thing. For me, Rebirth is basically, like this, starting over. And I guess on one level, it is starting over, because you had everything that Scott Snyder has done. And then now it's King's turn to take the reins of Batman. So in a sense, that's a new beginning. He's training a new person, not to be Robin, but as something different. And I guess you can say that's even a rebirth, something that's new. We are looking at the new character, new future, so to speak, for Batman and Bruce and the Bat family. But at the same time, I'm just going, okay, you've spent a lot of money and in terms of marketing to say brand this Rebirth Batman. Look at this, fresh, new. And to me, it doesn't live up to that. I mean, technically, this is New 52 Batman. So, to me, I think that Rebirth is just kind of like very misleading. But it was a good read overall. I won't complain at all about that. The art was good. King Likes a King did a great job. And it's dealing with Calendar Man overall. So, I mean, when was the last time we saw Calendar Man? It's been years, right? Okay, Injustice. This was actually a pretty decent read between... it was a battle between Harley Quinn and Shazam. And that part was okay. It's not... I mean, it was just a very minor fight, but it was kind of like Harley Quinn going to Shazam, going, "Why are you helping Superman? He kills people." And I thought it also was really good was you have this couple scenes where Harley Quinn walks into an apartment or office, and she's talking to a shrink, and the shrink is awesome. That's all I gotta say. Injustice is probably my favorite DC book overall. I have so much fun reading it. The art's solid overall. The writing has been consistently good, and I really like the direction this book is going. And finally, Old Man Logan number 7. Oh my God, this is Logan like we want. I mean, this is Logan who's just cutting, slicing, decapitating, and it's great. It's wonderful. The art's fantastic. Who's writing this? Lemire's doing a great job, and he basically he takes out Deathstrike, and because she dares to threaten the life of the woman who was his wife in that alternate world. Great read, fantastic read. If you have not been buying this and you're a Wolverine fan, you are doing yourself a disservice. You need to trade this book when this thing comes out. This is fantastic. For sure, definitely. Very violent, very dark, and violent. All right, that is it for today. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Let me know what books you got, what you're looking forward to reading the most. Let me know what you guys have thought about Rebirth so far and Civil War, and we'll have some more stuff later. So until next time.